The Sunflower Summer program gives families free admission to attractions such as Exploration Place, but a funding debate in the State House has left the future of that program uncertain. Last summer, Sunflower Summer offered free admission to more than 220 attractions across the state, with 154,000 Kansas families making use of it. Attractions and supporters of the program are seeking $5 million for the 2026 budget year, but the budget recommendations released this week only provide the program with $1 million. It's a decrease from the previous recommendation. Exploration Place's president says it would be difficult to keep up with the program's demand with a smaller budget.
I can speak to the impact at an organizational level, but I think sometimes just getting the passion from the families, it can make an impact on the way that lawmakers think about situations like this. So it would be helpful at this point if the program has been positive for your family's experience and growth and development. This would be a really good time to let your legislators know.
The program was originally established under the Education Department, but was later moved to the Commerce Department, where it is managed by Kansas Tourism.